Friday, December 12th, 2025. How's it going, guys? Well, I got another video for you. What are we going to talk about? Kansas City, Independence, Missouri. We're going to talk about crime. We're going to talk about drugs. We're going to talk about the homeless. And we're going to talk about even the prostitution that goes on. So, just a quick little deal here right off the bat. Tonight, when I was coming back over here off of Nolan Road, coming back on Chrysler, I talk about how from midnight till about 4 a.m. in the morning, they run these drugs. A lot of them use mini bikes, dirt bikes, a little bit of everything. Not counting the caravans if they're in the big Harleys and they got two SUVs in front of them or behind them. And they run up there by Costantino's, up there by Applemark, up there across there to that 777, or they go to 7-Eleven, or they go up here at this RS, or they go to that C-Nex up there, and unreal. But tonight, this mini bike, this adult man on this little, wouldn't you be proud, man? But they're making tons and tons of money off moving these drugs and stuff. And they need to put a stop to it. But I don't think Kansas City really wants to put a stop to it that much, because it could be stopped. These people could be stopped. It's easy enough to see where they are and who they are. But anyway, off Chrysler here, it goes westward bound off another side street. And I was going back to pick one of my friends up over here. And sure enough, here comes the mini bike back that way up here by Blueview. And guess where it goes? To that RS gas station. Well, that's another good hangout, man. I'm going to show that real quick. But also, I'm going to show early this morning. Now, I've been taking my, I get up about around 4:30, 4:40 a.m. in the morning. Because my friend, he's been taking some training. And I go over there in Raytown, pick him up, and then take him over there so he can get his training and stuff, come back. A lot of activity last night on Thursday night. I mean, we had almost 100 cars go up down this street within an hour between 11 o'clock and midnight. Now, I know 47's a busy street, but these are the same vehicles again and again and again. And this ain't DoorDash. And what's the other one? I don't know, I can't even think right now. But, one or the other, Uber. Now, we do have some Ubers go up, but they have those little lights that light up, It's a little bit different. So, no, these are the same vehicles, and they're going back then up into Raytown, back over there, off North Fleet, down into Kansas City, Missouri, down by Fleet Ridge and stuff. They're running that stuff all the way back over in there in that area, too. But, like I say, 7-Eleven's a hot spot. So we're going to show this real quick, but when I come back from dropping my friend off early this morning, a half hour or about a little half hour to 45 minutes had elapsed. And there's some weird stuff that goes on the 7-Eleven. Like I said, there's a lot of drug dealing going on and stuff, especially they always park on that back side. But even some of these older guys that look like they're clean cut, there's some weird stuff because this one guy I seen early. I went by early in the morning before I went over to pick my friend up. And this guy was already sitting there. He's coming out with a cup of coffee, okay? But a half hour to 45 minutes later, when I go back by, he's meeting up with another guy and he's still sitting there. Now, they do this every morning, doing something. It's weird. Like I say, that's just another deal. But, some of them are a little bit higher class, how they're moving these drugs than others. I'm also going to show the homeless, and some of these gals were hanging out. It was about 6 a.m. when I went back around there, over there by that vape Amico now. So let's take a look at this real quick. Okay, guys. So this is around a little after about 6 a.m. in the morning. These couple gals over here. There's another homeless over here, and they were walking back and forth. And I'm going to just move this just a little bit so we can see this real quick as I turn here so you can actually see them. See, they were walking back, but they were walking back and forth. And I'm thinking, how is Independence in Kansas City, Missouri allowing this stuff? That's crazy. Now, hold on. I want to show one other thing. Okay, guys, so I swing back around, and there's this other vehicles. Now, I remember seeing this. This has been going on for a long time. There's bikers and stuff involved in moving like cocaine and guns and stuff here in Kansas City area and stuff. And I don't know. This is more of a higher echelon, I guess we would say here. But I don't know what this is. And I seen this guy come out at least 30 to 45 minutes before in this other truck that's sitting back there. Then this other truck meets up with him. Now you got to understand there's big money in all this drugs and stuff. There's big money. And prostitution too. I mean, if you want to talk about prostitution for a minute, we got this deal about this soccer deal coming in here. We'll just take Netherlands, okay, for example. Now, you know what legal prostitution, where they're actually checked for any kind of diseases and stuff over there. Do you realize what that country makes per year? They make $625 million per year just in prostitution alone. Another 2.3 between illegal tobacco and cannabis. Okay? 2.3 billion a year on the illegal tobacco and the cannabis, and 625 million to 700, actually they said million. 625 was a deal done back in 2010, but I had come across another thing that said up to 700 million today. So if they're doing all this stuff illegally here, think about, how much money is being generated and all the bad guys getting all this. Hey, I got an idea. I know what Kansas City could do. We could just be like Holland out there. We could just legalize this. But oh man, then those gals have to, they have to be clean, germ-free, no diseases. Then they're going to have to pay so much tax on that. They have to pay like 19% to the government. Oh man, government's going to get their part, guys. See, the government's missing out. But we're going to go on from there, and we're going to show this mini bike tonight. And like I say, this last week, there's been a few of them between the mini bikes, the dirt bikes, and the other, and they're moving that stuff again. Boy, Independence or Kansas City, Missouri, or Jackson County, or whatever needs to be checking in between these areas, because, boy, this is a hot spot, and they are moving this stuff. So hold on. All right, guys. So I'm coming back tonight. Still daylight. Oh, I just love those temp tags, too. Most of them are expired. Some of them, I noticed even some of these newer ones now, do they not even have any of the laser prints on them anymore? I don't know. I mean, this is just a joke. And all those temp tags, I think all of them need to be gone here. So there's good old 7-Eleven. And we're going to go on up here. We're going to see that mini bike that adult male's on. The one's going to go over there to that RS filling station up by Blueview. Well, that's a hot spot. Oh, man. You got to be, it's always something going on up there. Now I'm going to show a rear view of this too from the back dash cam, but hold on, guys. So we're going to get up here. And I'm thinking, these things are running from 10 o'clock at night to actually 4 a.m. in the morning. You see this guy off to the left right here? I'm going to see if I can brighten this up a little bit. And I'll do it about 40. Shoot, there's one going up the street right now. And it's what, 8 o'clock? They're buzzing right now. Up and down East 47th Street South. Well, look at that. Oh, man. This should be, they need to get this stuff stopped. There shouldn't be no dirt bikes or mini bikes or anything else for that matter on these roads like this. I mean, it's just another thing that brings us down to like a third world country. You know, used to have license plates on real motorcycles or real cars. Now it's like, well, we don't have to do that no more. You know, it's like, you know, you're in the, like I say, the rural country. But anyway, I wanted to show that real quick. Now, we're going to show where this guy goes, because he's going to make, as soon as I get past him, he's going to go down the side street. Now, let's watch this real quick. We're going to go on up here. And then I have another good one behind me, too, because they like those drugs moving up and down through here, man. You can't beat all that stuff. Now, hold on, guys. Try to bring this in a little bit clearer so we can see all this. And I want you to watch off to your right here when we get in the left-hand lane, because that, let me go back here because I'm going to have to go to my next section. It'll take but a second. And I want you to watch for this vehicle. I'm going to try to get this kind of brighten back up a little bit before he gets there. Now watch this. Watch. It's going to be over in this area. There he is. There he is, right there. And guess where he's going? Oh, man, he's going to go over that RS. He's going over there. And see these cars here? See these cars back here and back, some of them? They sit back there. And guess what they do? They do the same thing as they do on up at the other places. They deal stuff. They deal drugs. I'll go on down here just for a second. These are hot spots, man. I mean, you know, if the police really wanted to crack down on these drugs, man, this is it. This convenience store. Go back. This RS, 7-Eleven up there. I mean, all thing they have to do is put a couple cruisers in between this and set here. This would disrupt their whole operations on everything. But hold on, guys. Okay, guys, I'm going to start this. I want to brighten it up so you guys can see this. This one behind me look like a winner, too. Yeah, because they also come out, also go over there by those Chrysler apartments, too. Oh, man, this is like a heaven for them, running this stuff. But anyway, let's watch. I want you guys to see this mini bike when it turns here. Okay, so there's a mini bike. I showed the frontal view. And let's watch. Let me see if I can slow this down. This is a tad here so you guys can see this. Right there. I noticed activity in the last couple of weeks over here on East 47th Street South has really picked up. Especially at the top of the hill, Chrysler up there at 47th Street. So let's go on and speed this up here. This was another winner that was behind me, it looked like. What I'm looking at here too is, you see this Estes and you know, Casey Ride and all those. I had a lot of problems over here in the last few years since that pandemic deal. Some of these vehicles put in my driveway. It makes me think about some other things here. How a lot of these houses were sold and somebody bought them and they got all these rentals now and stuff. But I was thinking about this deal, about this soccer deal too. And, you know, some of these places where some of them are in, I wonder if they're thinking they're going to make a lot of money because, Kansas City's promoting that, saying, well, you can, for a couple months rent these out and you can almost pay for almost all your utilities and pay for a vacation for a year. But somebody bought a lot of these houses up. He's got people, a lot of, like I say, they got like people in these places. So that means it ain't going to be a lot of individuals, but it's going to be somebody that owns a lot of these places, probably. I think my big question is one other thing. Hold on, guys. All right, guys. What I have a good question is, what if these people that come over here, are they going to screen them good enough? Well, I know they say they are, Homeland Security, FBI, and everybody else, they say everything, a lot of money's been put out on all that, supposedly. But what if they decide they don't want to go back? You know what's going to happen? That's a lot of people they're bringing in here. Never heard anybody talk about that. Nobody questions. Nobody ever asks any question like that. That's a lot of people to bring over here in a couple of months. And especially over here in Kansas City that's so small compared to, between Florida or New York or LA or Las Vegas. I mean, they have the means and the abilities basically with law enforcement and everything else to pretty much do what they have to when they need to. But I don't know. This makes me think about a few things. Maybe you guys should think about that too. Anyway, I got one other thing I'm going to show real quick. Just another thing tonight when I was going down 23rd Street over here, there was a gal that was carrying a log that was about 6 to 7 feet long. It's about that big around. And I'm just thinking, when these people do come in here, hold on, guys. This lady over here, it's got a log. It's almost 7 feet long, almost above her head right here. And like I say, this is over on 23rd Street. They move a lot of drugs down here to that other BP station down there at nighttime. I've actually seen them handing pills off out in front of the filling station to one another. And my son did too. Not good. But I get to think about all this, and I get to think about these people coming over here. But, they're going to be coming from like Algeria, Austria, Ecuador, Netherlands, a lot of different places. And what's sad is Netherlands is a pretty clean area. I've actually been to Holland over there. And those people are very, very intelligent, very smart. When they go through schooling, they have to learn to speak their native language and 2 other languages fluently. So you're dealing with those kind of people. You're dealing with some pretty educated and smart people. And I get to think about, but how about when we start getting some of these other ones in here from some of these not so good? I mean, you're going to get people that's educated like from Japan, or maybe even, Ukraine and stuff. But some of the other ones, not so much. I don't know. I wonder. Definitely wonder. That is just, she's hugging that log. That is just unfreaking believable. But then I get to think, well, what will these people say we'll just say from the country, from the Netherlands, think of something like that? What will they think about when they come here to Kansas City and see all this stuff like that? And these fires out on the sidewalks, in front of buildings, and all the other stuff going on. Something else that really kills me too. Holland over there, they legalized, marijuana. But over there, the way they have their stuff set up, it don't stink. It don't smell. It doesn't, like, here, it's like, I don't know, they must be making rot gut here in the United States for all these people. Well, maybe that's what they need to anyway, because, I guess if that's what they want to be doing, it sure ain't going to help the brain function at all. few years back, Holland was even thinking about, basically making it illegal again. They were looking at that because I don't think it's benefited them as much as they thought it would. But it's just another interesting, topic to talk about. Anyway, guys, keep your eyes open and stay safe out there.